After everybody, Christian here. I'm going to try to share something with you. Some of you may already know this. I just thought about it, and I've been thinking about it for a while. Like, hey, wait a minute. You didn't mention that, at least not recently. Maybe they don't know that. Maybe I assumed. So let me throw some stuff down for you. Sometime back, I think I made a video. Well, I know I made a video about the dream. So let me kind of give a quick recap of that. There's a dream sometime back, and my brother pulls up in a police car. He was a police officer, so that made sense. This is back before he passed away, and when I had the dream. So he pulls up and from behind, right? And I turn around and I see him there, and then he's gonna take me somewhere. And he takes me, and next scene in the dream, there's another police officer, and his name is Phil in real life, and I know this guy. And anyway, there's been packages delivered for me, but they're in another house, and it's nighttime, and he goes into the house, and the only thing I can see in the house, I don't follow him into the house, the only thing I can see in the house is through the window of this house. There's a street light that I can see shining in the window. And he comes out with a large package, right? And it's just a large, package, about as big as I am and about as wide as I can reach. And he brings it out and he sets it down on the concrete carport. Hang on a minute. On the concrete carport outside. And as soon as he sets it down, it starts to unwrap itself, not something that will happen in the real world, right? So this thing reveals what's inside of it by itself. He doesn't unwrap it, I don't unwrap it, it unwraps itself. It's an interesting detail. And I've mentioned before, whenever you see something interesting like that, pay attention to it. And I like to pay attention to every detail in a dream because it all matters, but the key elements can help you understand what the dream is about. But the very odd details are interesting for another reason. I'm going to show you why. So anyway, this package reveals itself. And then I see that it's this massive chunk of metal, a metal wall, and it's smooth on one side. On the other side, it's got these little square like embellishments, It's just a wall. And then he hands me another metal pole that's all ornate detailed. It's a staff, right? But it's made of the same metal. And this is the dream. And I know he's trying to show me, like, well, you can put this on here or whatever. And I'm aware that he doesn't know what he's talking about how these two things work together. But in any event, that's basically the dream. And then later on, I came to understand what the metal wall was. It's a defense, right? And I'm not gonna go into that right now. So sometime later, literally years later, I had another dream, and I might link it up here if I remember. And in this dream, I'm in an old man's house, and I also shared this dream when I had it with everybody on this channel. So if you're new here, you probably haven't seen it, but if you've been around for a while, you probably have seen that video at some point in time. And I'm at this old man's house, and it's an old man and his wife, and it's a nice house, and we're there. And in this old couple's home, I am there, and I'm preparing to go to work, either for this man or with this man. I can't remember. I don't know. In the dream, it's not clear to me. And as I'm heading that direction, the old man stops me and he says, "Have you got your ticket yet?" And I know he's talking about a lottery ticket. And I know that God had told me before that he's going to give me the lottery, and then it would be the biggest one. That's what he said. So I knew that in the future this was going to happen, and I should go then and purchase this lottery ticket. But it's not now. I didn't expect something now, but the old man insisted now, So I reach in my pocket in the dream, and then I pull out of my pocket a lottery ticket, and the lottery ticket is folded in half, like you might just buy a ticket, fold it in half, put it in your pocket, right? So I reach my pocket, I pull out this lottery ticket, and it's folded in half. Only the lottery ticket then lifts itself up. right? It unfolds itself. What's the key word here? Reveals itself, right? Just like the other dream that I had a long time ago. These two dreams are connected. They had the same odd element about them. And so I know these two are speaking about the exact same thing, and so I should view them together, right? So right now, that's what I wanted to share with you, is that what we're seeing, what we're dealing with in this current time prophetically for the body, right, is that we are all right now currently waiting for that supernatural element, the revealing, revealing element that we don't do ourselves, right? We reached down in our pocket, right? We pulled out some hope and we knew in part, right? That's the half that we know and we can see. And then it reveals itself, which is the part that God does, right? That's the supernatural element. And so this is where we're all at. If you're believing God for a fulfillment of His word, that's the season we're in now, is when that's going to be taking place. And so what you should be doing is nothing. You've already done all the things that you were supposed to do. You're obedient in all those areas. Now you're just waiting to see the miraculous. And this is really important, because this will be the thing that separates the real from the fake. Those who claim to be somebody, or claim to be told by God something, or claim to be hearing something from God, or whatever, but it's not true, they're not going to have any fulfillment of anything that's going to take place, because God never said it. God never gave them authority to do with the thing, right? So they're just not going to see this thing happen in their life. Those of you who were told something by God that you believed and you move on, and what He said will take place and manifest, that's that word for you, revealed, right? And then you will be proven, oh, that is somebody that God was actually speaking to. That is someone who's actually called to that particular ministry or that particular task or whatever it is, you know. So that's where we're all at. And it's really kind of a cool time, because you get to see the hand of God do something, right? I had this dream some time back, and I didn't really understand it all, and I still probably don't, but I see clearer now. That I'll tell you the dream and then I'll explain it. So in this dream, I see my uncle hand me my gun back. And my gun that he hands me is an amalgamation of two guns that I had actually owned in real life. But the amalgamation is of like an AR-15 and a Remington sniper rifle kind of thing. You wouldn't put these two together, but you know, that's how they were. And so he hands it to me, I take it, and immediately, the next scene in the dream, I'm struggling with a demon who's got his hands on the weapon as well. And I'm holding the weapon as well. We're struggling, fighting back and forth over this situation. I can't remember all the details of the dream. It's on my YouTube channel as well. You can go back and watch it. But at some point in time, we're struggling. I think we hit the ground in that dream, and we're rolling around. And he bests me. He beats me in this situation. We hit the ground, and he's stronger than I am. He's also tall. He's a big, you know, demon, and he's stronger than I was. And so, anyway, he takes off and he runs off of me. He gets up off me and he runs towards what I would call a stronghold. It's just looks like castle looking. You know, it's like a stone wall and things like that. And he's running into this stronghold. And then all of a sudden, just before he gets into the stronghold, he's heading there, right at the door, you know. I see a massive hand reach down out of heaven. I mean, it's huge, you know. And all I can see is just like the finger and the forearm and everything. And it just reaches in and it grabs this devil by like the scruff of his neck and drags him out and sets him out way out in front of me and puts him there. And I hear step on him. And I'm walking out, but as I'm walking closer to step on him, he's getting smaller. He's no longer as big and scary as he was before when we were fighting. Now he's getting much, much smaller, you know. And that overall dream right there is really depicting what the church has been going through, right? God gave us a task. My uncle is a preacher, right? And so when he hands me this weapon, right, in the dream, I am receiving something, right, from an authority figure, from your father figure, if you will, and he's handing it to you, and then you're taking it, and then immediately you have this fight with the enemy, and he's putting up this resistance, and then he's beating you, and in dream I get beat, and then he runs off, which is to, back to his own stronghold. And in this situation, if you were just left in that condition, you have been, completely lost the war. There's nothing you can do here to improve the situation, except then God intervenes. He reaches down, he grabs this guy, and he puts him out in front of you. So, and basically, you lost the previous fight. That's why he puts it out in front of you. It's in the future, the near future, you're going to go at him again. Only this time you'll best him. And that's what ends up happening in this dream. I don't actually see myself put my foot on his head, but as I'm raising my foot up, he's getting smaller and smaller. It's about to happen, right? So that's what we're going through right now. That's what we have gone through. And we're just coming to that point now of, okay, this is the manifestation, the fulfillment of God's word in our lives, and that we're going to see, and we're going to actually take this land and defeat devils and so forth and so on. However you want to interpret that, there's lots of ways you could describe what I just described to you, what God showed me in my dream. But basically, that's where we're all at. So our part is over, except for the thing that God brings out to you, and He says, "Okay, this right here, I want you to take a step right now." That's the thing He'll have to do, whatever it is. But it'll still be after He does His part. He'll have to reveal Himself. He'll have to show Himself in working on your behalf. And that's when you'll see your breakthrough, your empowerment, your all those things. But that's where we're at, and we're in that season, which means we're going to see that now, and I can't tell you the day or the time. And the reason that can't be done is because we're all running a race. We have run a good, race, fought well, right? But as you're coming to the finish line, we're not all standing on top of one another on that exact point and going to cross at that exact moment in time and say, oh, at the exact same point, 3 days from now or whatever, that's going to happen. It doesn't work like that. You can have breakthroughs spiritually where the Lord's hand comes down and something like that spiritually. But as far as on a particular moment, we're not all going to give an exact same breakthrough in the exact same moment, in the exact same way. That's just not going to happen. So it's going to be many of us running, and you should start to see and hear about testimonies. This will happen after, I think, Rosh Hashanah. But when the new year hits, that's when I would start looking for, okay, there should be testimonies. There should be miraculous testimonies, not somebody just saying that they had a breakthrough and it's just someone's interpretation of the breakthrough. No, it should be miraculous breakthrough that nobody denies as being an act of God, okay? So that's what I would expect to see spiritually. And it's what I'm looking for, is a tsunami of testimonies, if you will, okay? Of just breakthrough upon breakthrough upon breakthrough, miraculous, miraculous, miraculous. That's where we're at, okay? I just wanted to share it with you so that you all know, if you're not seeing anything happen or what, that's fine. Just understand what you're supposed to be looking for isn't necessarily something you can do, but something that God's going to do for you. Be looking for that. And that's all I have to share with you. Be sure to share this with whoever God leads you to do the sharing with, and I will talk to you in the next one. God bless. Take care.